5-minute paragraphs. Here's the dilemma. You're faced with writing a 5-paragraph, 500-word argumentative essay in 50 minutes. You'll not know the topic that you're going to write about until you open the test booklet. What should you do? Well, the first thing is to take a deep breath and then start to plan. First, read the writing prompt to make sure you understand exactly what you're supposed to write about. Then decide which side you'll support. Next, create 5 paragraphs by depressing the enter key 5 times. Not all sentences are of equal importance. Most rubrics award more points for thesis sentences and topic sentences than they do for minor supporting sentences. Consequently, starting with the thesis sentence in the first paragraph, write each topic sentence in the body paragraphs. Then, paraphrase your thesis sentence and write the paraphrase in the 5th paragraph, that is, the conclusion. Here is one of the most important things you can do as you prepare to write essays where that you spend maybe 4 to 5 minutes per paragraph. You need to memorize sentence patterns. Starting with the thesis sentence, you will choose one of these 3 patterns and then fill in the gaps. The easiest one, this paper argues that specific topic for 3 major reasons. Now, if you think that you can get 500 words with using only 2 arguments, then you would change that to for 2 major reasons. Okay, this paper argues that World War I was a watershed event in human history for 3 major reasons. Or, if you want a longer sentence, you have the same pattern except that you add a list of the 3 reasons, or if you're writing a shorter one, 2 reasons, in parallel grammatical form. What is meant by parallel grammatical form? Well, it means if one of your reasons is a noun, then the others have to be nouns. If one of them is a sentence, then the others have to be sentences. This paper argues that feminism, that's a specific topic, is still relevant for 3 major reasons: cultural discrimination, workplace discrimination, and political discrimination. You'll notice that the reasons are all nouns. Also, for the parallel construction, notice that each one of the nouns is modified by an adjective. A 3rd pattern is, this paper argues that specific topic for statement of the 3 reasons in sentence form. This paper argues that World War I was a watershed event in human history, for it led to the rise of nationalism, it changed modern warfare, and it diminished the acceptance of war as an acceptable method of resolving geopolitical conflicts. If you're looking for a sentence that gets you more words, then memorize the 3rd pattern. Otherwise, if you just want one that is simple to remember, then you might want to memorize the first one. Now we're ready to start with the topic sentences for the body paragraphs. Here are 3 patterns that you might memorize. Choose the easiest one for you to use as your topic sentence for your first argument. The first major reason why supporters maintain that, then what is your specific topic? Fill in the gap with that. And what is your first argument? Fill in the gap with that. The first major reason why supporters maintain that World War I was a watershed event in human history is it changed modern warfare. If you don't want to use that pattern, then you might use the second one where you still have the first major argument for, you've left out why supporters. The first major argument for fill in the gap with a specific topic is fill in the gap with the first argument. The first major argument for Evita Peron being a modern-day hero is she lived a worth life imitating. The third choice, start with filling in the gap with the first argument, then is this first argument why, and fill in the gap with the specific topic. Evita Peron lived a life worth imitating is the first argument why she is a modern-day hero. Now we turn to the second argument. There are two patterns that you might choose from for your topic sentence. The first one is more complex, would probably for sentence variety get you more marks. Not only can it be argued that, put in your first argument, but also it can be argued that, and then fill in your second argument. Not only can it be argued that World War I altered modern warfare, but also it can be argued that this watershed event made war as a method for resolving geopolitical conflicts unacceptable. The second pattern is a second argument for specific topic is, and then you fill in the gap with the second argument. A second argument for Evita Peron being a modern-day hero is she served principles larger than herself. Use a topic sentence for a final argument, a third argument, only if you have found you do not have 500 words when you go from the first word in the introduction to the last word in the conclusion. Go back, add this. A final argument for fill in the gap with the specific topic is fill in the gap with the third argument. A final argument for World War I being a watershed event in human history is it led to feudalism giving way to nationalism. Or, the second choice, a final argument by supporters of what is your specific topic is, and then fill in the gap with the third argument. A final argument by supporters of Evita Peron being a modern-day hero is she had profound respect for human life. Now we're ready for the counter-argument rebuttal paragraph. You need to memorize both of these sentences. Nevertheless, some critics may argue that, and then what is the specific objection? You must be specific. While this may be true in a few instances, you want to use this to show that you're open to other viewpoints. Then, reason why the objection is incorrect. Do not try to argue why the critics believe their viewpoint is correct. Simply, nevertheless, some critics may argue that vaccinations may kill people. While this may be true in a few instances, vaccinations have resulted in saving the lives of most people receiving the vaccine. Now we've come to the conclusion. And yes, you need a topic sentence. Use a transition such as in conclusion or in summary. it can be argued that, then what is your specific topic, and then just add for several reasons. In conclusion, it can be argued that feminism is still relevant for several major reasons. Now it's time to complete your paragraphs. You're going to spend about 4 minutes, maybe 5 minutes on each of those paragraphs. In the introduction, you're going to go back, and before the thesis sentence, you're going to add a hook. It could be a quotation, it could be some statistics that you remember, it could be a startling statement. If you cannot think of a quotation, then make up one, okay? Then you're going to add at least 2 background sentences to the introduction, and they should be related to the general topic. In the body paragraphs, you're going to add major supporting and minor supporting sentences. You'll explain why the topic sentence is true, then add some examples. If you can't remember any examples from your own life or from something that you've read or heard about, maybe seen on TV or on the internet, then make it up, okay? In the conclusion, after your topic sentence, you're going to add a sentence for each one of your arguments, wherever you summarize it. Then you're going to end with a sentence that echoes back to the hook in the introduction. If you want to know more about writing essays quickly, for instance, in 30 minutes, then check out Write an Argumentative Essay in 30 Minutes. You can click on the link here, or you can search for it on YouTube.